speaking of other ways to ingest tobacco, here is a man, he was actually a teenager at the time, who was chewing tobacco products, and he developed cancer of the mouth. And as a result, they ended up having to remove a lot of his lower jaw area in order to save his life. And he started at a very young age. I have to put my glasses on to read this. So he was 13 years old at the time that he started chewing, and this was out of peer pressure. Who can tell me what peer pressure means? Yes.
When other people like say you should do this or something.
Yeah. So he's hanging around with other 13-year-olds that were chewing tobacco, and they talked him into doing it. Now, whether he knew at that time it was harmful to him or not, I don't know. But that's one of the reasons why we have these classes with 6th graders. So you'll know. If somebody offers you a tobacco product, you know that it's not going to be good for you. There are consequences for using tobacco or alcohol or other drugs. You want to remember this. Was this on the test? Does it ask what a drug is?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember that it's a chemical substance which taken into your body will change the way that your body works. And it'll change the way that you feel physically or mentally. We know that drugs can be good as long as the directions are followed. For those of you who have a cold and you need over-the-counter medication, you would consult with your mother, your father, or your guardian, whoever's in charge of you, as to whether you should take it and how much you should take. You should always read the directions on any over-the-counter medications and make sure that you don't take any more than what it says. So now we got to gateway drugs. Was this up on the screen last time? All right. Gateway drugs, tobacco, alcohol, and marijuana. Who can tell me why they're called gateway drugs? Yes.
Because they're like the first drugs you're about like you're gonna take, and then you're gonna go to like get more dangerous and bad drugs.
Right. Remember that the younger that you start on any of these things, tobacco, alcohol, or marijuana, the more prone that you may be to use harder drugs later. What you're doing is you're getting your body used to taking in a chemical. And your body starts to become dependent on those chemicals. And then the body says, I want more. And maybe so you graduate to another drug that is worse. Okay, alcohol and marijuana and tobacco products. Here's some street names for tobacco products. Cigs, chew, dip, smokes. Now, smoke could mean something different. And as you're going to see, there's a terminology for different types of illegal drugs, and you'll see that there are some words that may have different connotations. In other words, somebody comes up and says, hey, you want to smoke? What would you think? What that meant? Yes. Cigarettes. But if you're in Hawaii and somebody asks you if you want to smoke, it could mean marijuana. Okay, so it depends on where you are and what the slang terms are for that illegal substance as to what it might be called. Health hazards. Increased blood pressure, then leads to emphysema, shortness of breath. Very addictive. They found that those who have a habit of smoking or using tobacco products can have birth defects later, bad breath, can end up suffering from cancer or other illnesses. Here is a healthy lung on the left side here, and there's a lung that's been abusing tobacco products, inhaling for quite some time. They estimate 440,000 deaths per year in the United States are related to tobacco products. alcohol equivalents. This is basically to let you know how much alcohol is in a different types of drinks. So a 12-ounce can of beer is equal to a 1-ounce glass of a hard liquor. Hard liquor meaning, does anybody know what hard liquor is? Yes.
Whiskey?
Yeah, like whiskey or vodka or you knew that. Just basically, those hard liquors contain 1 ounce of that is equal to about the same as a beer would have in it. Yes.
Would rum be considered
Rum is a hard liquor. Yeah. Now, there are people that like to use hard liquors in like baking things. Like have you ever heard of rum cake? Or there's people that use wine maybe in a spaghetti sauce. Or did anybody watch the Food Channel?
Oh yeah, they're girl.
Yeah. And they're big on using alcohol products in cooking. But when you use it in cooking, the alcohol actually burns off. Okay, so what you get is the flavor, but you don't actually have that alcohol content in the food. It's cooked off. Yes.
Why would you want the flavor?
Well, some people like certain flavors, and there are certain what they call liqueurs that have maybe kind of taste like almonds, or there are coffee liqueurs that taste like coffee. So there's different reasons. But one of the things about the liqueurs is they have a long shelf life because they're basically preserved by the alcohol. So they can sit around for a long time until you need them. But the actual alcohol in it is cooked off when you cook it.